Susan. It's so nice to be able to connect with you again and
Yeah,
to have some time to kind of drop in and hear about your experience at the most recent Explorer workshop that you were able to go to.
yeah, yeah. That was the second Explorer weekend. And boy, it just it whets my appetite for the upcoming other, I don't know how many weekends, but I really am excited to learn and see what each of the seven stages
Hmm.
have that are different, like what's unique about this one? Oh, that's cool. What's unique about this part? Oh, that's a neat way of asking that thing or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because each thing, so uh, for those of you who aren't familiar, Susan is going to be a student in our upcoming cohort for the Art of Circling practitioner training program, which is an 8 weekends, 8 modules across, the span of a year. And so for what you're talking about, Susan, is like, yeah, each module that covers a stage has its like own unique skills and own unique tools and own unique
Hmm.
aspects that go with it. And even though the circling approach as a whole is kind of fractal, it's not like a clean line of like this happens and then this
Hmm.
happens. It's more like a prism, like where different facets are happening, and overlapping and
Hmm.
co-occurring and recycling. But each stage in and of itself does have these like unique aspects to it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, the explorer stage is about getting someone else's world. Where
Hmm.
sovereign is about our connection to ourself.
Hmm.
The explorer is about like, oh yeah, how do I, you know, tap into curiosity, wonderment,
Hmm.
empathy, understanding, and
Yeah.
how do I embrace those qualities and bring them into all of my interactions, not just,
Right.
in a formal circle, but like conversations with a stranger or
Hmm.
conversations with a partner or a boss or a subordinate. And like how can I embody the
Hmm.
elements of being an explorer
Hmm.
in my, everyday life and all of my relationships, in addition to doing them when I'm in kind of a formal exercise of a circle.
Hmm.
And so I'm excited to hear about like pretty much anything that struck you from the week
Yeah.
workshop, whether it was, a paired exercise or
Hmm.
a circle, or even just an insight you had, post workshop, like accidentally or intentionally applying these things
Hmm.
in the wild. I'm
Yeah.
curious about your experience.
Yeah. I had two experiences that I think I'll share with you. The first was a partner activity where we were practicing the skill of paraphrasing.
Hmm.
And I was paired up with a woman, and I'll call her Tara. um, and so she and I were just talking about, what was alive for us right now, what was, on the forefront of our mind. And I was sharing with her how when I hang out with my friends, I'm the listener,
Hmm.
and I often don't get to do enough talking.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm a caregiver. I've always been a caregiver. And so my friends are typically people that I've had to take care of. And part of that is being a good listener.
Mhm.
And because of these circling workshops and the drop-in sessions and things that I've been attending, I'm more aware of the fact that I'm not doing very much talking, and
Mhm.
and that my friends and relatives don't often know what's going on with me because I'm not sharing. I'm just asking about them and listening.
Ah,
Um, yeah, so she and I talked about the background for all of that, and we were kind of working out how I could communicate that with my friends and family in a way that feels not like I'm saying you're bad for doing all the talking all these years, um, and I'm bad for doing all the listening all these years, but
hmm
more from a place of, hey, I'm taking this course now and I'm learning about communication and I'm realizing that I don't really share very much about myself.
hmm
And and it would be a good thing for me to practice the skills that I'm learning in this course by having you ask me more questions and by slowing down our conversations so that I can ask you deepening questions instead of just having like surface level conversations where I might know what you're doing or what you have done, but not how you feel about it, or,
Yeah.
really get into your inner world. And so I think I'm going to approach my friends and family that way.
And, oh, I love this. And so in your paired exercise, you were able to tap into this and then actually kind of like role play or rehearse, plan for like, ah, here is a gentle and, like non-shamey, blamey, confrontational way that I can bring this to my friends and family.
Yeah,
And it sounds like you're actually looking forward to trying it out with some of them.
I am, and I'm thinking about my one, excuse me, my one best friend from childhood. And a lot of the time when we're together or even just on the phone, I feel like I almost have to interrupt her to get a word in edgewise and to talk about myself at
Oh,
all.
uh-huh.
So so I'm hoping that, and she's the kind of person that would feel guilty if I was like, you end up doing a lot of the talking,
hmm
So I want to make sure that she doesn't feel bad because it has been kind of a choice, I think.
hmm
Maybe not a conscious choice on my part to not put myself so forward in conversations. So yeah, I think that'll be good.
Yeah, and I love it. Like you're even demonstrating now, like these qualities of compassion and empathy that you're wanting to bring into the
Hmm.
conversation with your friend, and to be careful to not, you know, uh, hurt her feelings or have her feel, bad or wrong while you're asking for something different.
Hmm.
And I think that is an art,
Hmm.
and a really important skill, that some of these workshops that we teach can get at.
Hmm.
How is it for you to imagine having that conversation, or like even just sharing it with me now? What are you noticing?
Yeah. I think the word is hope.
hmm
Yeah, like I feel hope that I can begin to be heard and understood in
hmm
a way that I previously wasn't able to.
hmm
And not only that, but I feel like, especially with my best friend, that because I'm going to say something and hopefully our conversations change, like the pace and the kind of conversations we
hmm
have, that it'll bring us even closer together than we already feel,
Yeah.
um, in a really, really bonding way. So I'm really looking forward to having this conversation with my best friend and then maybe from there seeing how it goes with her and then branching out to other people in my life to see how they
Upping
receive
the
it.
difficulty level as you go. Like, I'll start
Yeah.
with the safest ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll
Yeah.
often, yeah, I really appreciate hearing, Susan, how you have your eye on like the idea that having this conversation with her is going to invite a change in the nature of your connection and your communication that really feels like it's going to actually deepen
Mm-hmm.
your relationship. And that,
Yeah.
like, yeah, so I'm noticing, appreciating the distinction that you're getting, even just from the um, few months that you've been in the prerequisite, workshops for the course, of recognizing like, oh, there is a much deeper like opportunity here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If we could just shift the way that we communicate and the way that we relate, if
Yeah.
we could like slow down,
Mm-hmm.
ask these deepening questions, talk about our experiences rather than like what's happening between us rather than just like sharing the information,
Mm-hmm.
but to talk about how it's impacting us,
Mm-hmm.
what we liked and what we didn't like, and how it was for us, and how it
Mm-hmm.
is to hear about it, and
Mm-hmm.
how it is to hear our reflections.
Yeah.
It sounds like I know like you were used the word hope, but it also sounds like there's like an enthusiasm for this new, way of relating and this new depth of
Yeah.
relating with someone who
Yeah.
you've been friends with for decades.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think so my friend Julie, I think she almost talks nonstop out of nervousness. And I'm imagining that she would feel a sense of relief almost not to have to talk
Yeah.
and not to have to talk at the speed that she talks and to just slow everything down because she's got a really busy life. And I think she might find a slower conversation refreshing.
Yeah, it's funny. I noticed myself relaxing even as you were saying, like, yeah, like I think she fills the space out of nervousness and might actually appreciate the invitation
Mm-hmm.
to slow down
Mm-hmm.
and, not feel the pressure to fill
Mm-hmm.
the space.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that we talked about in the workshop, right? Where when you're just sitting in silence with somebody and looking at them, how uncomfortable it can be in our culture to just do that. And I think she feels uncomfortable with silences. And so she just fills it with talking.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I'm so excited. Like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall when you have this conversation with her. It is like, it feels exciting to imagine the impact this is going to have on her, Julie. Like
Yeah.
you saying, like, hey, what if we just slow down a little bit? And like,
Hmm.
or even like you said, asking the curious questions or asking
Hmm.
questions, like wondering, like, I wonder what it might be like to even ask her, like, hey, like, I get the sense that you feel some pressure to fill the space.
Hmm.
And I want to take some of that pressure off you. Like, I just like being with you. I don't need you to be filling the space with words.
Hmm.
And how is it to hear that and like
Right.
see what happens for her?
Yeah. 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 The last time we were together, um, we were making a whole bunch of meals for a family who had had a recent loss. And so we were really, really busy doing the whole time. And not only were we doing, but she was talking the whole time and we were doing the whole time. And it just felt really busy.
Hmm.
And I think I got a chance to ask her one time, like, how did that make you feel?
Hmm.
And she was almost caught off guard by it because, like, when was the last time anybody asked her how she felt?
Hmm.
And yeah, so it feels like it could be really healing
Yeah.
for her to have me do this with her and for me to be able to, you know, get a word in edgewise.
Yeah, I'm glad that you circled back to that because it was on my radar too of like, yeah, this is really beautiful, like hearing you talk about how you think that this could be beneficial for your friend. But like I am curious about this idea of giving yourself permission to be more than just the listener
Mm-hmm.
or the inquirer
Mm-hmm.
and to be on the sharing side of things.
Right.
And like, how is that for you to even imagine with some of your friends and family members that you've already carved this groove of like this role of the listener? How
Mm-hmm.
is it for you to, imagine carving out that space for yourself on the other side of the equation?
Yeah. I've been working on finding my voice for a while now, and this feels like the next step in me using my voice, which I have discovered.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm both excited to be able to share my experiences, but also a little bit nervous. Like, well, what if I ask for this space and then I'm like, I don't know what to say?
Oh,
Yeah, so there's a little bit of nervousness, like, uh-oh, when the spotlight is turned on me, what if I just choke and like
uh,
can't think of what to say, and then we move back to them and I don't get my chance again.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it feels like there's a little bit of pressure that
Yeah.
you're conscious of or that you're
Mm-hmm.
noticing of like, oh, and if I, carve out this space for myself, I better use wisely or I better
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or it might
It,
disappear again.
yeah, it's like don't waste the opportunity, like
Hmm.
don't mess it up.
I noticed I noticed feeling a little bit sad, even just imagining that of like the pressure, kind of like what you talked about a little bit like with Julie, the pressure to fill the space of like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe you could ask me some questions, or like I notice I tend to be on the listening side, and I'm really trying to challenge myself to be more of a sharer.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be okay if I shared for a little bit and then having someone go, sure, and then you not knowing what to say? Like,
Yeah.
I have a, I like, it's funny,
Yeah.
like I have a lot of empathy for like the pressure that must
Yeah.
bring.
Yeah, because I've been in the situation where I'm talking to especially my sister-in-law because she's not a good listener, and so we'll get on the phone and immediately she'll be like, so how are you, what's going on with you, and I'll
Mhm.
be like, oh, oh, you're asking about me, nothing, like, and I just like give a short like, oh, nothing's new with me, how about you, and then she'll talk for the rest of the time about herself
Uh-huh.
because I said nothing about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like I need to prepare ahead of time before I call somebody with like something that I want to share. Because if I don't, then they'll ask me how everything is and I'll say fine and we'll move on to them.
Mm, mm. Yeah, and so I'm taking that in too. Of like, and the one hand, I felt like excited when you said like, oh yeah, I could prepare, and then I would feel, more comfortable, or I would have something on the ready. And like on the one hand, I was like, oh yeah, like that makes sense, and I felt excited for you that you had a plan. And then there was another part of me that like there was some sadness present of like, oh, I really just want Susan to be able to be present and comfortable and like
Hmm.
not feel
Hmm.
a pressure
Hmm.
to prepare and to be given space for if someone was like, how are you feeling right now? That you just have permission to like check and respond.
Yeah, and I think that'll maybe be part of the initial conversation. Like
Mm.
just hang a lantern on it and be like, look, if you ask me what's going on, I might need some time to process and some silence before I respond because I might not have been reflecting on what's going on in my inner world right now. So
Yeah.
if you ask me, I might ask for a minute or two to check in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like this awareness of like, and the context setting or like the carving out space for yourself. Almost like letting someone know, like, hey, I'm wanting this, like I'm wanting to shift this role. And I'd like, ahead of time of like, I'm so not used to being the center of attention and being the one who shares that, like, if you do, have some inquiries about me, it might take me a minute to check in,
Hmm.
before I can respond. And I hope you'll be patient and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think yeah, that's exactly what I'm planning on saying, something to that effect. Yeah.
how does it feel to even hear me say it and to imagine saying it to others? What are you noticing right now?
Um, yeah, I'm feeling like the people in my life will receive this in a positive way,
Mhm.
receive it in a supportive way. And I think most of the people I'm thinking about having this conversation with have felt and know that I'm a supportive person for them.
Mhm.
And I think that they would be happy to return the favor to me.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it needs some explanation and some context. And yeah,
And some explicit attention.
yeah.
Probably
Mhm.
won't shift without, an conversation that you initiate.
Right, right. Yeah.
What else are you noticing as we talk about this? Like whether it's body sensations or emotions or thoughts, like what else are you noticing as we've been entertaining this idea of you initiating this shift?
I'm noticing a lot of curiosity. Like, what'll happen to these relationships? What is it going to be like? Are they going to deepen? Are they going to reject this idea? Are
Mhm.
they going to follow through with it? Am I going to have to use my voice even more and be like, "Oh, remember last time we talked about this? Yeah, let's try that again. I'm not sure that it worked the last time we talked."
Mm.
That kind of thing. But I am feeling curious as to what this might turn into.
So the first layer that you're noticing is curiosity, like not anxiety or anticipation. It's funny, it seems like you don't have a preconceived notion in either direction. You're like, but more of like a real open wondering of like,
Mm-hmm.
is this gonna go?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like in the options that you kind of listed out, like it seems like you're prepared for it to go anyway. Like it could immediately be good. It could like fall flat and I might have to try again.
Mm-hmm.
They could reject it.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like it seemed like you seemed like solid and congruent, like no matter what happened, like you still it seemed like you're like, yeah, and I still am confident I want to try it.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely want to try it. Yeah. At age 53, I'm like, gotta try it.
Do you have any imaginings? Well, you've already have named that for us of like, especially with your long-term friend, do you imagine this is going to deepen your relationship and it's going
Hmm.
to be a great service to both of
Hmm.
you?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I'll have to fill you in on that.
Do you have any nervousness or any apprehension that we want to talk through and see? Like if you look in the corners, like are there any, anticipatory anxiety or any like
I think
troubleshooting?
yeah, the anxiety that I named before about, them turning the spotlight on me and me being like, I got nothing, you know. Um, that's I think my biggest worry. I don't think that they'll reject the idea or not want to try it,
Mhm.
but um, I am nervous about being put on the spot. And that's why I think the best way to handle that is to just at the outset just be like, this is what I'm worried about. So let me process and have some quiet time and I'm sure I'll have something to say to you.
Yeah. when even just saying that out loud now of like, yeah, but I'm going to set the context that I might need some quiet time and to process and find an answer. What, does that impact the anxiety at all or the nervousness at all?
Oh yeah, it brings it way down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. So knowing that like you have this tool
Mm-hmm.
that you could use.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, there's something else from the weekend that I wanted to share with you. So if I
Yeah,
feel
I'm
complete
happy
about
to, yeah,
that, so
great. Yeah,
if
I'm
you
happy
feel
to
complete about
share.
that, okay. So the other thing that I wanted to share was the experience that I had in my circle.
Okay.
Um, so John was my circler,
Hmm.
and I was talking about, and here's where my difficulty comes in because there's backstory, and I don't know how much I need to say, but um, so I have this friend, another childhood friend,
Hmm.
who lives out in Oregon, and her mother was really kind to me as a child, really present for me in a way that my own mother was not.
Hmm.
And her name is Jennifer, my friend. And similar to my friend Julie, who we were just talking about, Julie's mother was also really present for me in a way that my own mother wasn't.
Hmm.
And Julie's mother passed away last November, and I didn't get a chance to tell her how wonderful she was for me. So after she died, I was struggling with that, and I wrote her a letter and kind of energetically sent it out to the universe to this woman, and that helped me feel better about it. And then I've been in contact with this friend in Oregon now, Jennifer, and her mother is not doing well. And so I was like feeling really graspy, really uh, like fixated on flying out to Oregon and, being of service in whatever way I can to help out with her mother. And my friend Jennifer has just gone through her own battle with breast cancer, and she's been through a lot. So she's trying to take care of herself. She's trying to take care of her mother. And so I was like, I want to go out there and be of service. And I feel really graspy about needing to do it soon and fast. And when I talked to my husband Dan about this, he's like, yeah, but didn't Jen tell you that now is not a good time for you to come out there? And
Mm.
I was like, yeah, she did, but I feel like I need to be there. And so in my circle, I was talking about this, and John was like, something's not adding up for me. Why do you feel like you need to go out there now as opposed to 5 years ago, 10 years ago? And I was like, well, uh, I talked about Julie's mom passing away and how I didn't get to thank her. And now Jen's mom is ill, and I don't know how much time she has left, and I want to thank her. And, so I kept giving John these reasons why I thought it was so important for me to go out there soon.
Mhm.
And he was like, I don't know, something's not making sense to me.
Still not hitting the spot.
Yeah, yeah. And so he asked me that question, I think, 3 times.
Hmm.
And the first 2 times I answered him with more facts,
Yeah,
about,
your head. Hmm.
yeah, about my friend and the
Yeah.
illnesses and all of that. And then the third time he asked it, there was this like brief pause, and all of a sudden it was like this curtain was lifted, and tears started like pouring out of my face, and I was like, oh, I know why I want to go out there and why I'm so graspy about it. It's because I want her mother to tell me I was important to her too. And I'm looking for love from this woman
Mm-hmm.
who used to give me love as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
now it makes so much more sense to me why I feel this like need and
Yeah.
this like time, yeah,
Urgency.
this urgency. Thank you, this
Yeah.
urgency to go out there
Yeah.
and to tell her how she made a difference in my life is because I want her to tell me the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if she would. I don't know,
Yeah.
what kind of effect I had on her, but clearly I was looking for love from
Yeah.
a mother figure
Yeah. And you're
that I
craving
didn't,
a like
yeah,
reciprocity.
yeah, that I didn't get from my own mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a really deep moment for me.
Yeah.
And then uh, there was a woman in my circle who hadn't said anything, the whole circle,
Uh-huh.
just had herself on mute. And I said, I'm curious what she thinks about this.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman validated my entire childhood, my whole upbringing. She's like, yeah, well, you were neglected as a child, and neglect is this kind of abuse that doesn't get talked about because it's not overt and it's not
Yeah.
beating and it's not drug abuse. It's not these things that you can see and notice as much. But she's like, neglect hurts just as much. And I feel for you. And I
Really?
had a similar childhood. And I was like, holy moly, like I feel so validated by this woman.
Yeah.
And like all the wonderful things that John did in the circle were like equal to this
Yeah.
woman's like two
Yeah. It's
minute
like
validation.
exponentiated by
Yes.
this woman that, yeah,
Yeah.
it's so amazing how like
Mm-hmm.
the universe brings us together. This
Mm-hmm.
is such a, thank you so much for sharing this story, Susan, because not only is it a wonderful like reminder of how exactly why we do what we do at the Circling Institute and like that idea of like the human interaction between you and John, where he's asking you this question and you're giving an answer, and he's like, yeah, something about that just doesn't, it's not clicking in. Like, are you
Mm-hmm.
to look a little deeper, look in the corners? Like, could there be another reason? Is there another layer? And you're like, oh yeah, well, it's probably this. And John's like, yeah. Like, and so just like in being with you,
Yeah.
he's noticing like it just doesn't feel complete.
Right.
And then that invitation to keep sharing,
Yeah.
where you shared like in most of your life, like if you give an answer, people are satisfied that you give an answer and they move on.
Mm-hmm.
John wasn't doing that. John was like, yeah, I think there's more. Are you willing to look deeper? Are you willing to share more?
Yeah.
So I love you sharing this, this anecdotal story of like how the power of attention,
Mm-hmm.
intention, sustained attention,
Mm-hmm.
how revealing it can be.
Right. Yeah. And to tie it in with the previous story about me using my voice and wanting to have deeper conversations with my friends and family, I was like, wow, if this can happen in a circle with people I don't know,
Hmm.
imagine the possibilities for the conversations I could have with my friends and family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how deepening it could
Mm-hmm.
be for the people who are you're committed to having in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really appreciate that story of like just the serendipity of there just, there's 20 people in the workshop. We divide you into rooms of four, and there just so happens to be a woman in the room who is like, your story makes so much sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And not only does it make sense, but it resonates.
Yeah.
And she was able, I imagine she kind of got vicarious like healing and inspiration through hearing you in the same way that you got, validation,
Mm-hmm.
recognition through hearing her.
Yeah.
What a
Mm-hmm.
what a beautiful gift for both of you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing that story. It's
Yeah.
it's so fascinating to me. Um, like I've been circling for almost 15 years now, probably more than that. I think I started in 2008.
Mm,
What are we now? Oh,
25. Yeah, 17 years.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And so I've led thousands of circles. I've probably been in more than I've
Hmm.
led, and like never ceases to amaze me, like the the richness and the depth that we can access through this kind of sustained, open attention and allowing ourselves to be permeable
Hmm.
and having the courage to share the
Hmm.
impact that that permeability is having. And like when both people are receptive to that, of like, yep, I'm going to share vulnerably and I'm going to listen, you know, empathically and permeably, and then I'm going to share and I'm going to listen, and then like, and when we're willing to pass that back and forth, magic always happens.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love what you're saying. Like,
yeah. And it feels like with this being the Explorer weekend, that John really got my world.
yep.
And this other woman in my circle really got my world. And and I was like, "Oh, here it is, Explorer
Yeah.
weekend."
We are manifesting it right now. We are
Yeah.
living it. Yeah, that's the goal. The goal is
Hmm.
like you do the skills drills and you hear the lectures, and then we break you into rooms and you get to practice it, in real time. And then
Hmm.
hopefully it lands in a meaningful way so that you could take it back out into your life with the people who mean the most to you.
Yeah.
And you can bring this added richness and added depth to your
Hmm.
friendships and your relationship with your sister-in-law and these
Hmm.
other spaces.
Hmm.
Oh, I love it. I want you to take notes and report back on how it goes
I
and what
will.
you're learning along the way. Even like, and I really appreciated how you said, like, I might have to ask a couple times, or it might be a little bumpy at first, and we might not
Hmm.
get it on the first go. And so,
Hmm.
especially that,
Hmm.
like, I'm so looking forward to hearing about the process.
Hmm.
Like, it might have been like super smooth and effortless with this person, and it might have been like bumpy and rocky with this person, and
Hmm.
I want to know it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if this will happen, but I have an older sister who I've never been close to.
Mhm.
And every time I call her, she's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm calling to catch up with you and see how you're doing, and she like doesn't want to talk about herself and, is always
Huh.
miserable and I really would like a deeper conversation with her, like a more of a friendship now that we're getting older. And I'm wondering if this could work with her. I don't know. She's a
Wow.
tough nut to crack.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. And especially as you continue to deepen your skills and your presence and your awareness and your tools over the course of the course,
Hmm.
next 10 months,
Hmm.
we'll see if we can use your oldest sister as kind of a like benchmark. I'm like, this is going to be my toughest challenge. And like, sure, it's working with these people, but will it work with even this person?
Hmm. Yeah.
I like this idea and this challenge
Yeah.
and what you learn from each of them,
Hmm.
from each of these different
Yeah.
experiences with these different people and like the different flavors of connection and what it took to access that and like call it forth.
Hmm.
What it takes from you, what it takes, from them. Like
Hmm.
I'm excited to track this journey with you.
Yeah. I look forward to sharing it with you.
Yeah.
That'll be a great way for me to process
Hmm.
what what I'm learning and how I'm applying it. Yeah.
Isn't it fun to kind of have like an accountability partner? You're like, it's one thing, like, especially you're investing all of this time and money and energy into this course,
Hmm.
like, and that's rewarding in and of itself. But to have an account like this accountability benchmark of like, oh yeah, people are counting on me to try these things out in my real life and report back how it goes. Like it, I
Hmm.
don't know. For me, I mean, for some people, maybe that would be intimidating or like deflating, but for me it feels enlivening. It's like, and I think maybe I just have the instinct that this will resonate with you. Like we do so much for others, and like you're trying to learn to like do for yourself too, but
Hmm.
I get the instinct that this is like a double bonus of like, oh yeah, I'm trying to do this for me. And then there's this little added thing of like, oh, and through it I can help others. And that makes it even more exciting to do, and
Yeah.
it makes it even more likely that I don't know if I would follow through just for me. I'm trying to,
Mm-hmm.
but like that following through for the good of others helps give it that little extra
Hmm.
push. Does that
Yeah.
resonate with
Yeah, it really does. I'm at the
you?
point in my life and on my path where I'm ready to challenge myself a little bit.
Mhm.
And having found my voice, I feel like I can do that now.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe a year ago, even, I don't know that I would have had the courage to have this kind of conversation with
Yeah.
my friends and family about sharing more.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I'm ready to challenge myself.
I'm excited for it, Susan. And I'm excited. I'm excited for all of the, late 40s, early 50s women in our community who are going to identify with you
Mm.
and, have this kind of like vicarious champion of like, okay, so Susan's doing it. And I'm getting to watch her bumps and scrapes and triumphs on her journey and hoping that it'll be like added incentive and inspiration for them.
Mm. Yeah, that would be nice. I like being of service.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I was going to ask how it was to contemplate that, but you were right there on the ready. You didn't even
Yeah.
need to pause and take some space. You were like, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like being of service.
Yeah, I do.
Anything else
Mm.
that you notice if you do take a minute to pause and check in about?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me see. Yeah, I'm feeling proud of myself, like proud that I'm ready to take on this challenge of communicating my needs to others and seeing how they receive it.
Yeah. Whew, I like that. I'm
Yeah.
proud of myself.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much, Susan. This has been a joy. And
Thanks.
how was it for you?
It was good. Yeah, no.
We'll pull back the curtain a little bit and share with people that you were a little bit nervous at first.
Yeah, I was
You weren't
nervous
sure.
about this, but my husband was right. He was like, just be yourself. So that's what I did.
I love it. And you
Yeah.
felt, how do are you comfortable? Do you feel at ease? Do you
Yeah,
feel
I do feel at ease.
proud of yourself?
Yeah, I do feel proud of myself. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm really, really happy.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how are those fears that were present earlier of like, will I make sense? Will I be engaging? Will I be interesting? Like when you check in on those, what do you notice?
Um, yeah, I think that I made sense. I think anybody would be able to follow what I was talking about. And that's what I was most worried about was because the story involved numerous players.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't sure how to present it all, but yeah, I think I did a good job of it. And like, honestly, what other people think about me isn't my problem.
Nice.
So,
Lovely.
yeah.
And just, out of curiosity, if you were to like project yourself forward and into another conversation or another meeting with me, or even just, outing with people in your community, having had this experience, do you think you're still going to have that same fear of like, oh, what if I don't make sense? Or what if I like am not engaging? Like, how do you imagine this will occur for you in
Um,
future interaction?
yeah, well, hopefully I can be self-aware enough to notice if I'm feeling that way.
Mhm.
And like I did with you, just name it and be like, look, I'm struggling with this right now. And can we just be with this right now?
Oh, I love it. Like, yeah, giving yourself permission to presence it.
Hmm.
and be with it and like allow it to be there
Hmm.
and receive some care and attention
Yeah. Hmm.
so that it doesn't have to be this like secret fear in the background
Right.
that's
Yeah.
impacting your behavior, but you're just like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I notice a little nervousness here.
Hmm.
And hopefully, as it did today, that will help it dissipate and help you show up
Hmm.
in a way that is not influenced or fettered at all by fear or nerve.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Whew. All right, darling. Is there any last words you want to say for yourself or to share with the community before I end our recording for today?
No, I'm just really looking forward to the rest of the course and seeing what other amazing things happen and unfold, and I'm curious in what other ways I will grow.
Mhm. Yeah, me too. And so grateful that you're willing to like give us all like a little peek behind the curtain and you're willing to like publicly go through this journey and share, the insights and the bumps and the scrapes and the triumphs with us.
Yeah.
Thank
Hmm.
you for that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, darling. Till we meet again.
Okay. Take care.